Tony Robbins is on a mission to change lives. He has spent over 40 years creating breakthroughs and transforming lives, but it all started with an obsession of his to understand why we do what we do, the actions and the why behind our actions that help people find fulfillment and success in life. Who are the types of people he works with?
The one thing they all have in common, I think, is they're hungry. And I know that sounds simplistic, but I believe that's the single most important element that separates the quality of people's lives. It's not just the ability to have hunger, but to sustain it. Hunger means that you want more. You want more of yourself. You want to make a bigger difference. You want to be a better parent. You want to do something more than there is today, and that you don't get satisfied. Most people start out with hunger at an early stage of life and they lose it. But the people that come to me are hungry either because something's happened, they've had a birthday with a 0 on it, they've gone through a divorce, they're starting a business and they know I've got to have a different level, or they're the best in the world and they're always looking for that edge that makes the difference.
That's a good word for it, hungry. But how do you get that hunger?
I think everybody is born with hunger. Like there's a desire to grow, to expand, to learn, and then disappointment sets in early in life for most people. And then we look to blame something outside of ourselves. And there are many events in our lives that can affect us all. We've all had pain and challenges. But I think if you can find within yourself the part of you that wants to constantly give something more than yourself, if you can find a mission larger than yourself, then you're more pulled to do something than trying to push yourself.
Interesting. The traumas, the negative experiences, or censorship from others hides or limits that hunger, that desire to learn and grow. But we all have the potential inside of us. Here is something he realized when he started on this journey.
And so it made me try to figure out what made her work, what makes life work. It made me more of a practical psychologist. And the modeling concept came because Jim Rohn used to have this phrase. He said, success leaves clues. He said, if there's anything you want in your life, don't assume that somebody has some special gift. They may have a gift, but they probably developed it, most of it.
Yes, success leaves clues. It isn't magical. It's the result of what we do and why we do what we do in life. Here is one thing he shared about success that really caught my attention.
As you know, when what you do adds so much value to people's lives, it lights them up. I mean, what are you going to compare that with? You can't compare that with money, but if you run your business right and you add that much value, you do well financially as well. And then you have a combination of all those benefits.
When what we do makes a difference, when we feel fulfilled, we will naturally succeed. Another key issue people get hung up on is money.
And I think most of us have so much emotion tied up around money because we associate emotions that are more important to us, like freedom to that, or security. And when you get to it, also people don't like to compare around that area. So what I try to do in this latest work I did with my book, Money Master the Game, was to show people how to master money instead of being mastered by it. Because you either master it or it masters you. And trying to pretend it doesn't matter in the world we live doesn't make sense. The real secret is find a way to add more value to other people than any other human being in your industry, in your category. And if you do that, you won't have to worry about money whatsoever.
Yes, money magnifies us. We'll still be who we are. If we are fearful, we'll still be fearful. If we're selfish, we'll still be selfish. The results are amplified. This shows up in the way the markets work also.
I think it's really critical that you understand that everybody wants to grow their business, and an infant is a run for survival, and cash flow problems are a natural process in most cases in your running. Hopefully you get to a teenager where now cash flow is not a problem, you're growing like crazy, and then you have a new problem. You don't have systems in place. Where you're growing your business revenues and you're growing your profits and you got a professional organization, you're not doing it. Whenever you meet someone who's in business is stressed, they're always a business operator. And my focus is to become a business owner. If the person is entrepreneurial and they ask me this question, I always tell them, you've got to take care of your kids, you got to pay the bills. And I said, but tell me when you work. And they tell me, well, I work 9 to 5 or 8 to 5 and I'm exhausted and everything else. I said, well, what are you doing with the other 8 hours? Because that's what I did. I worked as a janitor all night long, middle of the night, everything else. That's when I was developing myself, getting the skills, learning, educating, starting the business. So I think people just have to realize when entrepreneurship is not for everybody. Most people fail in entrepreneurship. The vast majority fail.
So they are overreacting because they are fearful. And listen in to what happens to those who give in to their fears.
80% of those corrections never become a bear market. They all correct back, just like last year.
So most of the time when we panic, we lose. Here are a few words of wisdom for all you leaders out there.
So I think to be able to influence the thoughts, the feelings, the emotions, and the actions of another human being. That's what leadership is. And quality leadership, obviously authentic leadership, is one where it's servant leadership. You're looking to influence those thoughts, feelings, emotions, and actions for a greater good, not just for yourself. And I think the people that master that are the people that you know about. I mean, they're captains of industry. They're people that are celebrities because they've learned how to influence people. They are some of the greatest teachers, some of the greatest scientists, because you can't just come up with ideas. Ideas will die on your lips unless you become a person of influence. And that's what leadership is.
So ideas are nothing without the ability to influence others. And I love that he focused on servant leadership. It is clear that is the model he follows. And here are a few words about a leader's limitations that we can all take to heart.
If you look at a business, the chokehold on the growth of any business is always the psychology and the skill set of the leader. And it's 80% psychology and 20% mechanics, meaning so many small businesses, the owner might be an incredible innovator. Maybe they write incredible code. Maybe they're a tremendous influencer, but they don't know the economic side of their business, right?
When it comes right down to it, whether you are a leader or not, when we allow our environment to control our psychology, we lose. We must pay attention to why we do what we do in order to transform our lives. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.